Top of the morning to you. I hope you're all fine and dandy and staying ahead of the game. Remember, it is a game and each one of us must play our part. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to look at the law, the police, the policy enforcers, and the level of the law and what the bar is. The bar is the legal system, the British Accredited Society of Law, and the bar is the four inns of the Temple Bar, London, where all law is manifest. But why does all law, the legal maritime law, why does all law manifest from the bar and the four inns in London? Well, if you're familiar with my pages, my posts, my videos, you'll know that this is in relation to the Spine of Albion. And the Spine of Albion runs directly through Britain, touching on 33 sacred points, with standing stones, mounds and so on. But this Spine of Albion is also represented as the Great Eridanus, or the Great Tree of Heaven, and the Ark of Heaven. And what we're going to look at today is the law, and the bar, and the level, and what does it mean to be on the level? What do these secret societies and others that claim rulership or dominion over us, what do they know and what are they hiding? And can we see things set up in the land? So this is what we're going to look at today. I have been studying standing stones and ley lines for over 30 odd years now. I suppose I first began or took an interest when I was in my early teens. By the time I was 12, I was mapping parts of Aberdeenshire where I grew, mapping the heavens above with the standing stones and stone circles and various brocks and towers and castles at a young age. And I've always had an interest in the stars. And so I'm going to just use this. We're going to go through this today quite slowly. I study quite a lot, including languages, history, ancient texts, Babylonian texts, Sumerian, Akkadian, the Gilgamesh stories, and all the stories are the stories of the heavens. This is the conclusion I came to after 40 odd years. But not only are the stories that we read of in these epics and tales and great holy books, but these are the stories in the heavens over Scotland and Britain. So we're at Tullyallan Castle, Tullyallan Golf Course, and of course Tullyallan, the headquarters of Police Scotland. And we just looked at the ancient waterway that sits behind it here. A couple of power stations hidden in the back of what's known as the Moor Lock, which sits at the back of the Tullyallan Castle power station. And we looked at this part here, which clearly is some sort of star fort, just the shape of it. This down here, a graveyard, an old kirk cemetery, on the point of a star fort. Same down here, this is a point of a star fort. This would have captured the water in this area here, and the water would have come in here. Of course, Kingdom Caravans is there today, and the people who rule over the lands like to make use of entertainment and holiday waterways, holiday caravan parks, which were once under the water, lost at sea. Like most homes here are lost at sea, but we do have a starport here in Kincardine, which I'll See if I can actually see it here. I'm sure I have a starfort somewhere for Kincardine. Tullyallan, Kincardine Starfort Citadel. So here we go. A small starfort for the ancient part of Kincardine, which sat in the water, and of course these are outlying parts which were surrounded by water, so schools, holiday parks, caravan parks, large blocks, skyscrapers usually sit in the feet of another starfort. So what we're looking at here is possibly another starfort, body of water down here, where the water used to be. So this suggests here that this area is a starfort, and these are feet of the starfort. But I have identified a starfort here, just a rough outline of the starfort Kincardine, going around Keith Street and various other I don't know Kincardine at all, so Kincardine Health Centre. These buildings tend to be on the paws or the feet of the starforts, but you can see the shape of the ancient starfort there. And it's quite interesting because Police Scotland used this building, and this is some sort of sundial, some sort of device, ancient device that's been hijacked for measuring the movement of the sun. And we can see here the sun would rise in the east and it would set to the far west, and for some reason Google have this L-shaped scar on their maps, but interesting enough, this Tullyallan Castle is aligned to, or at least this sundial is aligned to Isla, and it passes some interesting places along the way, including Earth. If you think of Aether, our father, Aether, Thor, as in the hammer, and go forth, the Thor, Earth, Aether. This here used to be a mental institution, a mental hospital at Letham. All gone now, but that was clearly a starfort. You have the old Plain Country Park, of course, with Plain Castle sitting right on this alignment here. So you have Old Plain, which is of course a starfort on its own, and then a New Plain and Plain Country Park. These were all sitting on a waterway, and this waterway was the ancient waterway known as the River of Life, or Tullyallan, the valley to heaven. And yeah, lots of quarrying, lots of mounds which have been excavated, thrown away and used for roads, for tarmac. A lot of these mounds would have been bodies of giants, and you can see here that kind of looks like a head. It could well have been a body at one time, but many people believe that much of these things which we see, these hills which we see, are giants, and I believe so too. I believe that they quarry many of them. Large waterway, I was saying a moment ago that this is the River of Life, and here we have a large body of water, and it continues onwards down into the Carron Valley. And according to Combs Beaumont's books, the Britain Roman conspiracy, or the Syria Roman conspiracy, that's not the full title, but according to his book, the Carron Valley was a vast waterway, Carron Bridge was a vast waterway, and you can see that this was a vast waterway passing through Denny, through Old Plain, and of course this is why they had the mental hospital there, the Forth Valley Mental Hospital, which shut down quite a long time ago, but this sat in an ancient waterway. You've got the Dunmore Pineapple, I believe, is in this area, which was a large machine, the pineapple, pulling down electricity, which sat on the banks of the River of Life, or the River Iudea, the Mare Judea, which was the Firth of Forth was the Mare Judea, the river of Judea, Iodine. And so Tullyallan specifically placed. So let's follow this out. I mean, for centuries there's a strange circular it's passing through there, and this is obviously some sort of power station, so Kincardine substation. Yeah, so power lines, ley lines, energy lines. We see here is a small starport known as Earth, which is almost a pentagram starport. Somebody said in my channel, I can't see, all I see is streets. Well, if you look above, you'll see that the streets follow a geometric pattern, and that geometric pattern is repeated at least 6 or 7 times. So there's only 6 or 7 different shapes of starports. You know, so I'll do a different video on that. But moving on, this is a very large starport here. Of course, Earth would be a small starport, and I wouldn't be surprised if this here was a large mound before it was a hospital, which recorded Arthur or Ursa Major in the heavens. A direct line coming straight down through Falkirk and then into Edinburgh, into Arthur's seat. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is why they had that hospital there, because Arthur, the son of God, the son of Britain, represents us, and for a few hundred years they kept people in mental institutions, and with the hammer of Thor and all sorts of metals and drugs and other things, they sedated us until they rewrote our history. But this area here would have had a clear view of Arthur or Ursa Major to the direct north, and this is possibly why they put us into these mental hospitals and institutions. By the way, that hospital, the 4th hospital, didn't close that long ago, and I have a friend who attended the recent 4th hospital somewhere near Falkirk, and there's an inquiry going on there because they put him to sleep, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, they put him to sleep, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sacrifice on energy and ley lines, which it's another thing I need to look at. So this energy line, or this ley line, continues over through what I would say are the bodies of giants, following what were ancient waterways, which is, for me, and the things that I've mapped, this is the sea of life, the river of life, the Machar stones, Whole Head, Trig Point. These are all the Earl's Seat. These are all mountains that sit high above an ancient waterway, which our ancestors, the Celtic people or the Gaelic people, would have known as the Sea of Galilee or the Sea of Life. So Tullyallan. And to the Greeks it was known as the Elysian Fields. The place where it entered would have been here at Clydebank, Dumbarton. In fact, most of Dumbarton, I've done quite a few videos of Dumbarton, most of Dumbarton, this area especially, would have been underwater. The castle obviously stood as a lion, as part of the alliance, the Lions of Judah. It stood looking like a lion, and same as Edinburgh Arthur's seat, it also stood looking like a lion, looking like the rock of the Lion of Judah. And this is the territory of Judah. It looks like a lion. Many people say it looks like a giant. Some people say it looks like a sleeping baby. But yes, for me it is a lion, and it was a starfort sitting on its own, and most of this part of Dumbarton was underwater. But this ley line comes straight through the princely area, the very important area known as Dumbarton. Not only does it pass through Dumbarton, it passes through Alexandria, and as far as I'm concerned in this research, this was where you go off the Argus Navi. If you go further south from here, the Argus Navi tilts, and the asterism in the sky tilts up and over and comes back down. It comes over a place called Furness, and then tips back down again into East Kilbride, into Motherwell, into Lark Hall, the Ark Hall, and then down onto the Rose Line, and it disappears, the Argus Navi constellation, asterism. But if you did not get off the asterism, the ship, the physical ship, and you did not go onto the land of Enoch, if you did not claim your title in these lands, then you would go back down upon the ship. You would be judged, and but here is where you go off with your records, a place known as Alexandria. Not Alexandria in the Middle East, not Alexandria in Egypt, but here is where you go off the ship, the citizenship, the Argus Navi, the Pupa's deck, the Vela and the Carina. This is the three parts of the Argus Navi asterism in the heavens, and these three parts represent areas over Ireland, Scotland and the Highlands, the Hebrides. And if you did not get off the Gaul, the ghost ship, then you went back down into the underworld, and the Starline or Stirline area is where you got onto dry land, and you were a dry man on dry land, and no longer lost at sea, and you would make your way through the Dryman Valley A811, which is 118, the chakra system, the 3 pillars, 2 pillars either side and the 8 chakras in the middle, 118. You would make your way across here to the Priory, to Amprior, to Kippen, and you would rise over Taurus the Bull, and you can see here this is Taurus the Bull in the hill just over Glasgow, because Taurus sits here, and you would make your way through this sacred area, which of course Police Scotland are controlling now. So quite a lot in here. I've rammed a whole load of stuff in just to try and get the information out there. Like all my stuff, you need to listen over again, rewind it, go back, listen again. I'm sorry but I'm speaking too quick for so many people. I'm Scottish, I can't help it. Please slow it down if you can. YouTube allows you to slow it down. Maybe that will help, but I am trying my best to get as much information out as possible and also be understood. Keep shining. Stay sovereign. Don't forget to look up stuff.